Governor J.B. Pritzker, the Illinois governor, ignited a wave of controversy when he made a comment during a public appearance that suggested federal immigration enforcement was more of a joke than a serious policy. The statement was meant as a critique of the Trump administration's immigration strategies, implying that the current approach to crime and border security was ineffective and poorly executed. Pritzker's comments immediately drew national attention, as both supporters and critics weighed in on social media and in the press. While some viewed his remarks as a necessary criticism of federal mismanagement, others argued that they were inappropriate and dismissive of the real dangers law enforcement officers face on a daily basis. The governor framed his criticism around the idea that ineffective immigration enforcement not only failed to deter criminal activity but also created confusion and tension between state and federal authorities, highlighting a growing divide in policy approaches. The timing of the statement also added to the intensity of the backlash, as it coincided with ongoing debates over immigration law, border security, and the balance of power between state and federal governments. Media coverage amplified the controversy, with headlines emphasizing the clash between a prominent Democratic governor and federal immigration officials. Social media quickly became a battleground, with hashtags and commentary reflecting the polarized responses from the public. Some commentators praised Pritzker for speaking truth to power, pointing out instances where federal agencies had faced criticism for overreach or inadequate enforcement. Others condemned the governor for appearing to mock a profession that often places officers in dangerous and complex situations. The remarks also spurred broader political discussion, prompting local and national figures to weigh in on the responsibilities of state leaders when commenting on federal law enforcement operations. Analysts noted that this exchange was emblematic of a larger trend in American politics, where partisan divisions often shape public perceptions of crime, immigration, and law enforcement. Beyond the immediate controversy, Pritzker's remarks prompted deeper consideration of the structural and operational challenges facing immigration agencies, the coordination, or lack thereof, between state and federal authorities, and the ways political rhetoric can influence public confidence in law enforcement. The governor's words, though intended as critique, became a flashpoint in a heated debate over policy, politics, and the safety of communities, setting the stage for the ensuing response from federal officials who sought to defend their work and reputation. In response to Governor Pritzker's remarks, Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons delivered a pointed rebuttal, emphasizing that the issues of crime and immigration were far from humorous and should not be treated lightly in public discourse. Lyons stressed that federal immigration officers work in complex and often dangerous conditions, making split-second decisions that can impact public safety and the lives of individuals in vulnerable situations. He highlighted the dedication and professionalism of ICE agents, emphasizing that their work is critical to enforcing federal law and protecting communities. Lyons argued that Pritzker's comment trivialized the serious nature of law enforcement work and risked undermining public trust in agencies tasked with maintaining security and upholding the law. The director also called for greater cooperation and dialogue between state and federal authorities, stressing that collaborative strategies were essential for effective immigration enforcement and crime prevention. Lyons underscored that while constructive criticism of policy is welcome, it should be framed with respect for the work of officers and the inherent challenges of the job. He detailed some of the operational difficulties faced by ICE, including resource limitations, complex legal frameworks, and the need to balance enforcement with humanitarian considerations. The public response to Lyons' statement was immediate, with media outlets covering his rebuttal extensively and analyzing the tensions between state officials and federal law enforcement. Many viewed Lyons' comments as a necessary defense of his office's integrity and dedication, highlighting the human side of an often politicized issue. The exchange illustrated not only the differences in policy perspective but also the broader cultural and political tensions that shape debates over immigration, law enforcement accountability, and the limits of public criticism. Lyons' insistence on the seriousness of the matter reinforced the importance of maintaining respectful dialogue even in the face of political disagreement, reflecting ongoing challenges in bridging the gap between policymakers, law enforcement, and the public. The rebuttal served both as a defense of ICE officers and as a reminder of the high stakes involved in immigration enforcement, illustrating how a single public comment can escalate into a larger debate over law, policy, and accountability. The clash between Pritzker and Lyons sparked a significant public reaction that quickly spread across social media platforms, news outlets, and political forums. Supporters of the governor rallied behind his remarks, praising him for challenging what they perceived as ineffective federal policies that failed to adequately address crime and immigration issues. Many viewed his comments as a necessary critique aimed at improving accountability and policy outcomes, framing the joke as a metaphor for systemic shortcomings that needed urgent attention. Conversely, federal law enforcement supporters, ICE personnel, and others condemned the governor's remarks as insensitive, arguing that they unfairly demeaned officers risking their lives daily to uphold the law. Social media amplified both sides of the debate, creating heated discussions in comment sections, hashtags trending around both Pritzker and ICE, and viral posts emphasizing either the need for political critique or respect for law enforcement. Analysts and political commentators weighed in, exploring the potential long-term consequences of this public confrontation for state-federal relations. Some suggested that such exchanges could erode trust between state leaders and federal agencies, while others argued it was a natural outcome of the contentious political environment surrounding immigration policy. Public opinion polls conducted in the days following the remarks showed a divided citizenry, reflecting broader polarization over immigration enforcement and political discourse in general. Beyond immediate reactions, the incident sparked conversations about the appropriateness of humor in discussing serious issues, the responsibilities of elected officials when making public statements, and the need for civil discourse even amidst disagreement. The clash also prompted broader reflection on the systemic challenges inherent in immigration enforcement, including resource allocation, legal complexity, and coordination between multiple levels of government. The controversy became emblematic of the ongoing national debate over how best to balance security, justice, and human rights, illustrating the interplay between political rhetoric and public perception in shaping policy debates. Ultimately, the public reaction underscored the sensitivity and complexity of discussions surrounding crime, immigration, and law enforcement, highlighting how a single comment could catalyze national discussion and reflection. Media coverage played a crucial role in shaping public understanding of the dispute between Pritzker and Lyons, often framing the incident in ways that reflected broader political and ideological divides. Some outlets emphasized the clash as a confrontation between state and federal authorities, highlighting the tensions that exist when political leaders and law enforcement agencies disagree on policy or public statements. Other media sources focused on the substantive issues raised by the governor, including questions about the effectiveness of federal immigration enforcement and potential reforms to policy. The coverage was extensive and varied, with different outlets framing the narrative to align with their editorial perspectives. This resulted in a complex media landscape where public opinion was influenced not only by the statements themselves but also by the interpretation and presentation of those statements. The reporting highlighted how polarizing immigration enforcement can be as a topic, often dividing public perception along partisan lines. Polls suggested that citizens were split in their response, with some agreeing with Pritzker's criticism and others siding with ICE officials defending their work. The media also highlighted the human aspect of immigration enforcement, including the challenges and risks faced by officers, adding depth and nuance to the conversation. Furthermore, news coverage explored the political implications for both Pritzker and federal authorities, including potential impacts on future collaboration and public trust. Analysts noted that media framing can shape not just immediate reactions but also long-term attitudes toward law enforcement and government accountability. The incident illustrated the power of media to amplify conflict, influence perceptions, and shape political narratives, demonstrating how a single comment can have cascading effects in the public sphere. Overall, the coverage reflected the polarized, contentious nature of immigration debates and underscored the importance of careful, accurate, and balanced reporting in influencing public understanding and discourse. In the aftermath of the controversy, both Governor Pritzker and Acting ICE Director Lyons expressed interest in moving past the public spat while maintaining their respective policy positions. While the exchange had been contentious, it provided a platform for deeper discussions about how state and federal authorities could better coordinate on immigration enforcement and related crime prevention strategies. Officials began exploring mechanisms to improve communication, collaboration, and mutual understanding between agencies, recognizing that friction over public statements could hinder operational effectiveness. The incident prompted broader discussions about immigration policies, law enforcement practices, and the need for reforms that ensure public safety while maintaining fairness and humanitarian principles. Observers noted that the confrontation, though politically charged, opened avenues for dialogue and potential policy improvement, emphasizing the importance of both critique and respect in shaping effective governance. The event also highlighted the ongoing tension between political commentary and operational realities, illustrating the challenges faced when public figures make statements about sensitive, high-stakes issues. Ultimately, the episode underscored that while disagreements between state and federal leaders are inevitable, they can also catalyze discussions aimed at strengthening cooperation, enhancing accountability, and fostering constructive solutions in areas as complex as immigration enforcement. The controversy became a case study in balancing public critique, media influence, and the operational challenges of law enforcement, offering lessons for policymakers, law enforcement officials, and the public alike on navigating sensitive and high-profile policy debates. The exchange reminded everyone that even contentious moments can prompt reflection, dialogue, and opportunities for positive change when handled thoughtfully and responsibly.